At any rate, guys, we're going to go over to the mail room here. I'm going to make myself bigger, and we're going to go over to the mail room. And over in the mail room is a box. Okay, and I'm going to slide.
Oh,
the mic
wait a
over
minute.
here.
Put your hand on top of that box. That's the Skydio.
Now, if it is,
It's light.
you're going to have to send somebody over here with some smelling salts because I canceled my order.
Oh, you did? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. This,
Okay, never mind.
I'm going to open it up first.
Oh,
All right.
The Mavic Mini.
I was guessing.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that I need a Mavic Mini?
No.
Okay. Questions answered.
Oh, it's the Autel Evil.
No, it's too small.
No, I don't need it. I don't need an Autel Evo either.
Mini.
In fact, I don't need any other camera drones, and probably won't buy one. I don't care what they call. I got a Mavic Zoom, a Mavic 2 Zoom, and a Mavic 2 Pro, and believe me, those two drones do more than I will ever need. You know, I don't need 8K. At any rate, here's what we got here. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is great. I got instructions for a frame. Look at that. And I got
in one box like that.
a frame, and I got lollipops.
Yeah.
Holy mac, this is fabulous. And this is not only that, this is fabulous because I never get shit. You know what I mean? And I got a couple of fruit chewy things.
Oh, yeah.
Is that from China?
Man. All right, Ken, hurry and eat your heart out, buddy.
Is that from China, Mitch?
Truman's
No.
dentist.
Now, opening this up,
Look how slow
we
he does it.
have.
Ta-da!
Oh, you got race drone.
This is
No,
an
some kind of mixer.
This is an iFlight XL7 V3 long range frame.
Oh,
That looks like a 7-inch or 6-inch.
It is a 7-inch.
7-inch. Oh, it's got the motors on it already.
It's got the Zing. It's gorgeous Zing motors. And in the box here is the rest of the frame. The
module and everything.
the flight controller.
Yeah.
It's got come on out. It's got more decals. It's got the ESC. Look at that, Carlos.
Nice. Are you gonna do the DJI thing with that?
You know, I knew it was coming, and I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. It's got a flight controller that runs. I think it's Flight 1. It's not Beta Flight, so it's something different. But it's a terrific controller, and it's got all the cables and everything else that came with the kit. And that's not the best part of this whole deal. And I hope he isn't embarrassed if I say where I got this, but this was sent to me by Brent Nunly.
Oh,
And not only was it sent to me by Brent Nunly, it was a gift.
oh.
And
Very nice.
I gotta tell you, brought tears to my eyes.
Oh.
And I hope that he doesn't mind that I'm sharing this, but well, I'll finish the story as soon as cry away, Art. If I was Ken and I had all my music right at my fingertips, I would be playing some like Bleeding Heart violin music right now. But is. All finished, props on. My 3D printed antenna mount in the back. Flight stack is in there. Everything is ready to go. Now all we need to do is see if everything's hooked up right and it doesn't flip out, crash and burn on the first hover test. So hopefully everything will work all right. But here we go. Okay, here we go. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this thing out and we're going to test fly it, just to hover and everything, to see if everything's hooked up right and the motors are right and the flight controller's right and everything works the way it should. And one of the reasons is that when I got this package from Brent, it had a flight controller in it that is called the Revolt OSD. And the Revolt OSD is a flight controller designed by Raceflight, or a company that now seems to be known as Flight One. And it was designed to run a proprietary software a couple of years ago called Flight One that was supposed to be very simple and easy to set up and did not use Betaflight. It was kind of a wizard walkthrough to set it up and everything. And in doing a lot of research about this to figure out how to make it work, because I'm not familiar with Flight One, I spent a couple of days trying to find information on the internet. And whoa, it's windy out there. Well, that'll be all right for this little test. Trying to find information on the internet, and there's very little of it. A lot of the links from the Flight One website and from the configurator aren't found when you go to them. And so I've been looking at YouTube videos and other things to try to figure out how to do it. And finally, when I finally did get Flight One working, the motors sounded very funny and I couldn't get anything to work. I couldn't get the smart audio to work, so I could change the video transmitter settings from my transmitter. So what I did was I decided that I was just going to flash Betaflight onto this controller. And of course, because the controller was never really designed to work with Betaflight, it wasn't a standard normal setup that you normally have. And make sure I've got video transmitter going here. There we go. And we got OSD on it. Okay, so I'm going to start the recording now on the camera feed. We're going to take this thing out here and set it down. And one of the things that was tricky in setting this up was the mounting of the board, and the gyro thought it was in a whole different direction, and the motors were all mapped wrong. What was supposed to be motor 1 was not, and you know, if any of these things are not right, this thing will flip out. I think I better go get a cardboard landing pad here. Grass is a little tall. Anyway, so I did a little research and I figured out how to set the board alignment correctly, and I did that, and I managed to get that right. And then I had to go into resource mapping and remap all the motors to the right direction. I still haven't figured out how to get a voltage reading in my OSD, and I still haven't figured out how to make the smart audio work, but that doesn't mean that I can't fly the thing, or at least test it to make sure that it is going to work before I spend a lot of time trying to finalize those other things. So one of the things I'm going to do is going to keep my hand on the disarm switch here. I'm going to arm it in stabilized mode, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the stick back just a little bit, and the front should pop up, and push forward and the back pops up to the right and to the left. So it looks good. So let's take it off and see if it hovers. Yes sir, it hovers. Look at that. It is windy today, but it is flying. There it is. Yaw. All right, so we got the Revolto SD board working with Betaflight, and I've decided to call this quad the Nunly 7 because it's a gift from Brent Nunly, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see it actually flying. So there you are, Brent. I told you that I would give this thing a good home and get it ready to fly and fly it, and the next video you see is going to be a video of me doing my first through the goggles acro flight of the Nunly 7. Hey, there you go. I love it when a plan comes together. Well, I'm going to take that as a win, folks, and put all this stuff away, and now get to work trying to figure out the last few little technical details of making this quad fly like it should on Betaflight 4.1.
Telemetry lost.
Shut off the radio and the monitor. Okay, a success. I thought that if I couldn't get Betaflight working, I was going to go back to the Flight 1 software, but the thing seems to do very well running Betaflight 4.1, so I'm going to leave it. And I like that better because I'm familiar with Betaflight, and now I can go through and set up all the rest of the stuff that needs to be set up to make this thing fly. So again, thank you, Brent. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed watching the Nunly 7 on its first test hover. There it is.